Now we are going to Brazil for the Interlagos circuit hosts the 5th of 7 races. We're getting into the second half of the championship, and I would definitely say we have a very close race. Isabel, Yumiya, Francesca, Yuzuha, Stephanie, Axel, and 2.0, 6 points apart between 7 drivers. So keep an eye out for all of those names as we get down to the track for the 5th race of this championship. And the lights are green for Interlagos. 4-wheel drive advantage is going to do a lot more for Yo this time around. She is going to get from 3rd to the lead. We'll be taking on the first set of turns. Storm Rose is going to actually lose 2 places, both to Yo and to Shiro Suzuka off the green. And there is our points leader, falling to 8th behind the 55 of Barbara, another case where she's been overtaken by Barbara Page. A big concertina effect happening at turn 4. Bonneville just could not carry competitive cornering speeds. Damage to the back of the Bonneville, damage to the front of the 288 GTO. Suzuka also with damage. Holy crap, Yuzuha is already into 8th. That is a POV driver in the 112 Audi Quattro, and I heard her hit the horn. This thing has a horn? Yeah, it does. And Barbara only slightly rubbed up against her car, but she felt the need to blare the horn at that. I guess it does make sense, yeah. I had to think, it's like, oh right, yeah, that is a rally car. They probably had to beep their horn at the spectators who would gather on the freaking track. Or, stage. Whatever, you know what I mean. Eric will overtake Suzuka down the hill, but it's gonna be for nothing as he got damage, as did Suzuka at turn 4, courtesy of Bonneville holding up traffic. Yuzuha already into 4th place. That is going to be 3rd in a minute. Actually, it's going to be 2nd. How did Yo get damage? So Storm had a huge run on Shiro Suzuka heading down towards turn 4. Suzuka ran into Yo. That is how they both have damage. And that will gift the lead as we skip back to the current lap. That will gift the lead to Storm. And Yuzuha is actually up to 2nd. 20th to P2 in a single lap, courtesy of a lot of attrition. And probably 4-wheel drive benefits as well. Storm applying a block to Yuzuha. Bumper to the back of the 982. I'm not really all that surprised. Bump and run via dial-up. Yuzuha is going to get into the race lead with damage to the front of the Audi, but I don't think she cares because we all know that was a receipt from the longest day in Georgia. When Storm Rose proceeded to ignore blue flag conditions, battling Yuzuha on track for multiple laps while she was trying to take the lead away from Shiro Suzuka. And that forced her to burn more fuel and burn her tires more than her strategy had allowed for, and she had to pit on the final lap of the race. Now Yuzuha just better hope that damaging her front end for that payback doesn't jeopardize her chance at winning the race, because winning the race, she's pretty close to the points lead going into this race. She's only 3 back. She, along with Stephanie and Axel, are tied at 54. Axel is... oh, they're both right behind, actually. Stephanie is in 2nd. Axel is in 4th. Isabel, the points leader, is in a solid 5th. Yumiya, I keep doing that. Wrong you. They're on the same team. Their names start with the same 2 letters. One's not even Japanese. Which is weird, because Yumiya sounds like as Japanese of a name as it gets, but Her last name is German. No, Barbara's not so easily defeated by Stephanie Kaiser. Missed that on the replay. But yeah, the only member of the top 6 not accounted for in the top 6 of this race is Francesca, who was running 15th. Then again, that is probably due to the fact that it seems only 8 cars, including 2.0, who's 7th in points, and Barbara is 8th in points, so the top 8 is comprised of 7 of the top 8 in points, and the only one missing is Francesca, who we have swapped out instead for Kotori, who's down in 16th in points. I think she's gotten damage in every race except the longest day in Georgia. 19 of her 35 points came from the first round when she placed 2nd after Yuzuha had to pit at the last minute. The other beneficiary of that, ironically, was Weisfeld, who got 3rd from that. So we have a rare, kind of obvious hierarchy in the championship where everybody who was running well in the championship, except for Francesca, who got caught up in lap 1 stuff, is running well in the race. Which ultimately means that not much is going to change going from this race to the next. That is a very wide turn 4. Other cars probably would have spun there, and the only reason that I think Yuzuha did not is because this is a rally car with a torque distributor. I would be surprised, actually, if we see too many attempts at overtaking, though, from here. If all these drivers are running pretty well in points, they're not going to want to do much to jeopardize their car and risk being, like, sent back to the doldrums, so to speak. Who's this Stuffy again? I blew my nose like twice in between recordings, and it's just like, nope. Nope, don't care. Still sniffling. Not sick, just a pain in the butt. The top speed difference, 183 at Interlagos is very high. But yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing too many risks taken by these drivers, except maybe Kotori, but I think she has the sense not to really interfere with, you know, the battles of the championship's very obviously biggest players. But at the same time, you also think, okay, who's the most important one to take a point away from? Somebody who's your rival in the championship, right? So, it's a weird paradox. I guess it just comes down to driver temperament, but it does seem like everybody is erring on the side of caution right now. Except for Yuzuha, who took the opportunity on lap 2 to barge somebody out of the way that she doesn't like. And it wasn't even like an egregious hit. But it was just sending the message of like, hey dickhead, look at the blue flags. You shall jump forward to the white flag lap. And as I expected, there is nothing going on with this top 8. Actually, everybody is in a pretty single file line. How the mighty have fallen. Classic double crown holder and the winner of the 40 Minutes of Le Mans, running 19th in this race. Absolutely nothing to show in this championship for Wanda Glass. The top 4 are all very close together, but nobody seems to be interested in trying to pass anyone. It feels like NASCAR or Formula 1 all over again. This is very rare. It feels uncanny that everybody is just so content to just kind of ride out the remainder of the race and take the battle to the next track. I think everybody is just kind of in the back of their minds thinking, attrition's gonna strike anyway. Why bother? Stephanie has to defend from an eager Axel Valentine at the last hairpin. He is the only one making any attempt at a spot. Down the inside goes the Pantera. Finally, we have saved the commentator. and Axel will get it done. And he will be the only one getting anything done as Yuzuha exits the final turn and my lungs try to collapse. Victory and revenge for the Team AMT driver. Barbara second, Axel Valentine third, Stephanie fourth, Isabel fifth, Yumiya, Kotori, Dos.0, all drivers in the championship hunt, I should say, all looking for big points. And as I expected, that has not changed. Well, it's weird because despite the difference being, singular points between a lot of the top 8 in points, really, not much has changed. The deficits haven't changed, I should say. But obviously, the running order has changed. Yuzuha takes the points lead away with that victory. Exactly 1 point over Aspinall, who was exactly 1 point over Axel Valentine, who was exactly 1 point over Stephanie Kaiser, who was exactly 1 point over Yumiya Leisfeld. What the fuck? God, imagine if the next race were the final race. 5 cars within 4 points of each other. That would be freaking nuts. I guess it could still be nuts. It is then a tie for 6th in points between Fidanzi and Dos.0 after Francesca's mediocre run here. She did manage to limit damage to some degree. She will come away with P11 here when she was running like 15th last we checked in. But when everybody else in the top 8 in points finishes in the top 8 in the race, that is a huge momentum killer. But yeah, she is tied with Dos.0, and Barbara is only 1 back from there, 63 to her name after 2nd place here at Interlagos. But Yuzuha, obviously the big winner here. This is her first appearance in a championship, and if she can just maintain her current course, she could win it all on her first try, which would be massive for her, massive for Team AMT, and massive just for the history books, honestly. Secretly, I'm kind of rooting for that, since I don't really have a horse in the race. Yeah, Kotori did well here. She got P7. That's her first top 10 since the longest day in Georgia, though. She's moved up to 13th in points, but she is 25 back from Yuzuha going into the second to last race. I don't really have a horse in this race. I legitimately cannot tell if this is early morning or late evening from Mount Panorama, Bathurst. It is very foggy, very misty, very cloudy, whatever terminology you'd like to use to describe the pitiful visibility here. But that's not going to be stopping anybody, I guess. So we ride at dawn, motherfuckers. We've already covered the big names or the big news. Definitely keep your eyes on the top 5 in points, who are 4 points apart. Yuzuha, Isabel, Axel, Stephanie, Yumiya, all 74, 73, 72, 71, and 70 points between those drivers. So just a couple of good points could completely swing who has the championship advantage going into the final round at Fuji. It seems the stakes are higher here than they'll probably be at Fuji, just because of how quickly the tides can swing from this race. And away we go from Bathurst. I almost said from Panorama. No, you're missing a word in that. Outside, well, I guess second place on the grid, but Francesca Fidanzi leads us through Hell's Corner. She is trying to make up time after a mediocre result at Interlagos cost her the points lead and knocked her basically out of contention, it seems. Barbara, Yuzuha, Axel, all in good spots to continue their championship hunt. We have to go all the way down. Name a more iconic duo than races in Bathurst and Isabel Aspinall being the POV driver. You'd think this was rigged. but is it rigged for Isabel or against her? It's sometimes hard to tell. I guess it depends. She does like the spotlight. Not in like a completely vain way, but I don't know. She's a walking paradox in that regard. But either way, already into 12th, before we've even begun the descent to down the mountain, she's going to ambush Eric in the braking zone for Skyline. Kilgore is going to be sluggish. There is a spun Stephanie Kaiser, and that is going to damage a lot of cars in the chaos. That was the most pathetic spin I have ever seen from the reigning champion. Like, what even happened there? Oh, she got Porsche things. She was too hard on the brakes, and the weight distributed in a very brutal way. Axel's rejoin causes Stephanie to put Dom DePrisco in the wall. He almost got free from that with no damage, but big crucial moment in the race. Isabel Aspinall did get through this without damage. Who else has survived, or who hasn't survived that? Yuzuha has damage. I think that's... Oh, she ran into the back of Stephanie at the point of contact. Obviously the top two are fine, but Yuzuha, the points leader, is down. Axel, big damage. Bernice, damage. Stephanie with damage. Dom with damage. Everybody else seems to be okay, but never mind. Mika Harris has just spun at the chase. Where is that? She outdrags Eric, has to check up for the entrance because of how little aero she has. Outbreaks 2.0, but that curb does not like 4 GTs. Around she goes. Eric masterfully avoids that spin. By that I just mean he jerked the wheel further to the left, but that's still quite a reaction test. And here comes the reckoning. Big names taken out right here by Stephanie, just overcooking it on the brakes. That is three of your top 5 in points having been knocked out by that crash. Yuzuha, Axel, and Stephanie are all just KO'd from that, along with many others. Mika, despite spinning, actually didn't get damage. So she benefits at the end of the day from that. That leaves Yumiya and Isabel unaffected from the top 5. Francesca and Barbara are in a decent spot, as is 2.0. But, yeah, that has blown everything sky high. I'm trying to, rearrange my notes here. Just so I know ahead of time who leaves this race with the points lead. I don't need to turn the volume up too wide through the top of the hill between Isabel and Kilgore. Kilgore's been a real pain for a lot of the POV drivers in this championship, but he will be subdued by the 29 car in short order. And now Aspinall must overtake her Oshi, as she calls her. Should be about even in terms of power. Isabel might have a slight advantage with the slipstream, but I'm not certain on that. We'll go on board with a 29, who has basically just had the path to victory laid out before her. Oh, she is actually going to go for it. I don't think you really have to do that, but Kotori is going to concede, knowing that Isabel is fighting for something much bigger than her right now. And this is going to be another long one. 5 laps doesn't seem like a lot, but these are 2-minute laps. 2 minutes 10, actually. So this is going to be another, you know, like, 11-minute race. Lap record 2:09.5 from Isabel, despite passing multiple cars on that lap. So, proving that she has the pace to win and it's not just a fluke through attrition. I don't think anybody really needed to be convinced of that, though. This is her home track. and she has rarely fallen short here. She's got more miles around this circuit than some Challenge Series drivers have at the wheel in general. Not a lot changed on lap 3, but Isabelle has definitely closed in on Barbara Page. She has finished behind Barbara at most races. Every race where neither car got damaged, Barbara was the faster car. I think we'll be seeing that change here, though, if Isabelle has anything to say about it, and I'm fairly certain that she will. Francesca Fidanzi is quite a ways ahead, though. Actually, that's not as big of a lead as I thought. Down the inside, Isabelle with the better exit through turn 2. Bumps the wall. That would have been costly, but no damage. Wouldn't that have been something? She gets the points lead handed to her, and then she just botches that overtake. But no, she gets the move done. Her vehicle is not damaged. Built Ford Tough or something, I don't know. And now I would say it's about 3 seconds and rapidly decreasing. Francesca very cautious at the top of the mountain, which is understandable for the unengaged, but Isabelle is absolutely engaged. You can just about see them. The cameraman is really dwelling on that view. And Francesca is just creeping down the hill, trying to back Isabelle up, baby. But that's not working. You don't do that here. Not to her. That might work on somebody else, but Isabelle knows how to attack. Testarossa might have the power advantage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Battle for the lead brewing as the sun, I believe, is starting to rise. Not that you can tell through all the clouds. It's very overcast still. Down the inside at the chase, Isabelle will easily outbrake the Testarossa. Has to squiggle and squirm a little bit on exit, but the spot is hers. Does she attempt to move at the final turn? No. And not to be that guy, not to try and sound like I'm glazing Isabelle too much, but that is probably the race right there. White flag in the air. Francesca's going to have one good shot if she can get it done into turn 2. But Isabelle has got a very strong exit. That's going to put a lot of space between her and her rivals with more horsepower, but it might be Barbara that's going to be the threat. Clears Francesca with ease. She's going to get alongside the 29, who will go defensive into turn 2, and that's just how you hold on to a spot there. Isabelle not really disturbed by Barbara's sudden lunge. And now we're going to start climbing and later descending the mountain, and this is exactly where Isabelle makes her payday. She is not scared of heights, can say that much. Using every inch of the track, Barbara's trying to stick, but there just is nothing. Francesca's hit Barbara, You wouldn't think that car is nearly $1 million. You would not believe. How are you in 6th? That thing seems like it'd be a nightmare to drive around here. And you're from Minnesota. You live like an hour from where I was born. How do you know how to drive on a mountain? Anyway, final run down the back straightaway. Barbara and Francesca nowhere in sight. It is going to be a big blow to the championship battle. As I don't think you need me to tell you that Isabelle is going to be the points leader coming out of this race. Nothing. Just nothing. No point in pitting for these two. They just got to run it to the line and hope Francesca's family can fix it. Down the inside, Francesca's trying to at least cover the repair costs with that last-second overtake for 2nd place. But Isabelle widely uncontested in this one. I mean, it took her a while, but that's because of the field spread. 11 minutes later, and the hometown lady gets it done again. Francesca P2, Barbara P3, and as for actual championship rivals, Yumiya, despite being clean on that lap 1 incident, got damaged somewhere else in the race. So, the best finishing driver, who was previously in top 5 in points, Axel Valentine, comes away with 8th. And then, yeah, as for everybody else, Stephanie comes away with 19th. Yuzuha with 14th. Yumiya with 16th. And then Aspinall has the audacity to win the race. So now we will go into Fuji with an 8-point deficit between Isabelle and Axel. Funnily enough, the 8 points that, between them and the finishing results here. Francesca, with 2nd place, climbs to 3rd, which is critical because had she not passed Barbara, they would be tied at 82. Instead, Francesca sits at 83. Barbara is instead tied with Yuzuha at 81. Dos.0 at 78. Yumiya down to 75, only scoring 5 in that race. And Stephanie is now mathematically eliminated after that folly. The race that won her the World Championship last season has utterly annihilated her chances of winning this one. And as it stands, going into Fuji, if Isabelle can take away 13 points, so if she gets 8th place at Fuji, she has won the championship. Full stop. Axel can only make up 7 points that way, and he needs to make up 8. The ever-familiar sight of Fuji Speedway will cap off yet another Challenge Series championship. The stakes are pretty well set. If Isabelle Aspinall comes away with 8th or better in this event, she will win a 2nd consecutive championship, which has never been done in the Challenge Series to my knowledge, and I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident in saying that it just straight up has not happened. There are definitely drivers who have won 2 championships, even who have won 2 championships in one season, but they have never won 2 championships in a row. We already had the crazy thing of Wanda Glass winning 2 endurance races in a row. No, did she do that? Yeah, she did. Actually, she won 3 in a row, because she won the Deep Forest 44, then Grand Valley, and then, yeah, she's won 3 in a row. She's, yeah. But then she didn't win the longest day in Georgia, so that streak ended there. Anyway, getting off track, yeah. It is raining, but not as heavily as you think. It's not actually accumulating too much on the track, so it shouldn't really affect the pace of the drivers here in this championship finale. It's actually probably at that middle ground where you could probably get away with either wet tires or slick tires, depending on how brave you are. The last race of the Premium Sports Challenge is away. The precipitation meter sits at about 28%. Axel Valentine gets a critical race start, but Yuzuha is not going to let him have it so easily. And Axel needs to beat Isabelle Aspinall by 8 points to win this championship. You can see his title rival in the background. Francesca Fidanzi is also in the hunt. If Isabelle doesn't make a top 10 finish, Francesca can win the race and take the championship with her. And the only other one that's even realistically got any chance is you could pick either Yuzuha or Barbara, but that relies on Isabelle finishing outside of the top 12. She started 10th. She's running 11th. No immediate cause for concern, but that's only because we're on lap 1. They are 3 wide up here. Yeah, obviously, don't ever forget, everybody is still fighting for it. Everybody is on the intermediates except for Barbara. The POV driver is stuck with the hard tires. As I said in the pre-race, you could probably get away with hard tires. The precipitation is not over 35%. Which is about the crossover point. Likewise, if it's over 65%, that is when you need heavy wet tires. And that is also when, depending on the track and the other conditions in the race, races may still be canceled. But at 30% precipitation, we don't really have any intentions of doing that. Most of the field looks to be clean. No damage on lap 1. Oh, never mind. We have 3 cars with damage from turn 1, but that is all. Yuzuha leads the field. Isabel's closest competitors in the championship are all 1, 2, 3, and then 5 for Barbara. The only ones who can realistically take this away from her, Isabel's running 11th. At the moment, she does lose the championship. She does, in fact, lose it to Axel as they run. Axel would pick up 9 points on her, which would give Axel the championship by 2. No, by 1. I can count very well. But obviously, Axel's going to want to make that pass. It'll be easier said than done. Yuzuha's got a really good setup right now with the rain coming down. All-wheel drive benefits her a lot. Barbara down the inside of Yumiya. Mathematically, she has a chance. But if Isabel doesn't lose the spot from here, then none of that matters. And not only do we have rain on the track that benefits all-wheel drive cars, but also we have multiple hairpins at the track, which four-wheel drive vehicles will excel at, pun not intended. They will accelerate and get off the corners very well. Yuzuha may not be the most prolific in a straight line though, and Axel Valentine is going to prove that. In the background, Barbara is making for third over Francesca. We may have seen 2 overtakes and 1 straightaway. Yuzuha gets her obnoxiously large front bumper in, and she is going to out-drag Axel, and Francesca's going to do the same thing. Okay, so no change in game state through turn 1. Barbara's going to have a better exit, though, and she might get it done through turn 3. That she will. Isabel's up to 10th. That knocks out Francesca, even if she were to win, which she obviously isn't. She's just been passed to third. Huge drift from Yuzuha, but she can get it to grip back up, obviously. It's a rally car, it's all-wheel drive. The only one who can win the championship as they run right now, Axel Valentine, needs Isabel to not pass Dos Point0 and Stephanie or any other 2 drivers. He also has just been passed by Barbara, which has just gonna make that a little more difficult. Now Isabel needs 9th place, unless he can take it back. Considering the fall, that I'm privy to between Axel and the Thrasher late last season, it would be a big deal if he can get it done for Black Sky Motorsports, bring a championship to them, as I think they have won championships in the Challenge Series, but it has been a long time. That might be like a Season 1, Season 2 accolade for them. Wholly over speed. I think the hards were the correct call. Barbara's attraction seems unaffected by the rainfall. Down, I just got actually startled by that. Down the inside, Yuzuha returns. But Barbara gets the better exit. Yuzuha will back out of that. These 2 are tied in points. This is effectively a fight for a championship position, even if they cannot win the cup with where Aspinall's running. That was a huge slide from Barbara as well. Yeah, they can't win the cup from here, but they can certainly get some extra prize money by beating each other on the standings table. Axel doesn't hate this yet, but he is going to have to pass somebody still, or somebody is going to have to pass Isabel. Clusterfuck of 4 cars, a train of 4 being led by Mika Harris down the hill towards the hairpin and chicane. Isabel just is in no rush. It's like she doesn't even know that she can lose the championship still, but then again, she probably has got somebody telling her, maybe it's Iris, maybe it's like Luke Conway or Harvey Holt on her like pit box telling her that she doesn't have to worry. Axel's not scoring enough points from this race to take the cup away. He's gonna have to force the issue. He's gonna have to bear down, catch up to Yuzuha, and that's exactly what it looks like he's doing on this straightaway, but not enough. 200 in the Pantera at Fuji. Oh, that's the last thing you want to do, you idiot! I mean, bumper and run, textbook bumper to the back of the 112, but he's damaged his Pantera in the protest, in the process, and yeah, that's the championship. Yuzuha gets back ahead of him anyway. It ultimately didn't matter. Yuzuha's gonna use the low speed turns to her advantage to get back ahead, but she's sideways because she's got rear damage. Axel can't turn because he's got front damage. Mika Harris up the fastest one. Oh, she's catching them. Goddamn. She's catching the leaders. Yuzuha tried to dive Barbara as some last-ditch effort. Maybe she tried to run into her or something. I don't know. Either way, yeah. Like, even if you were gonna make contact, at least get down the inside. Hit her with your door or your quarter panel. Try to keep the front bumper safe. That is the last thing you wanted to do. Holy shit, 209. In a C3 Corvette in the rain. What did Southern Speed Co. put in that thing? Jet fuel? Well, yeah, with that said and done, yeah, Isabel literally wins by doing absolutely nothing. Her championship rivals have taken one another out of contention. Two of them anyway. I guess Francesca and Barbara are still title rivals, but even if Francesca makes this pass on Barbara for the lead, that doesn't ultimately change a whole lot. That was anticlimactic. At least there could be a battle to the finish line. Mika Harris looks like she's got a bit of momentum on Francesca. If she gets a really aggressive send, she might have the spot. And Barbara trying to break the slipstream as they're both nearly cracking 200 on the way down to turn 1, but it actually looks like nothing will be happening here. Even with Barbara missing turn 1, and here's like some, some climactic final showdown. We're gonna have a nearly 13-minute long race to decide the championship. 7 laps of Fuji is unheard of. We usually run 5 or 6 in the top categories. We've never run 7 laps here. My nose continues to force me to sniffle. Last chance to make up places here, Mika Harris, and she is going to go for it down the inside, ambush the Testarossa, and at the apex, the GT40 will make up the spot, which will only just further extend the deficit between Isabel and the rest. So with one last Fuji Speedway sector to go, and Barbara seems to have the win in her hands, but ultimately it will not change a lot, and in fact math had to be corrected post-race as she was given points that she had not scored. I don't know exactly what race it was where the scoring error happened, but it was all fixed before publishing the final championship results. Barbara takes the win. Mika Harris, Francesca Fidanzi, Keith Kilgore, Stephanie Kaiser, Yumiya Leisfeld, Dos Point0, and there is your championship winner, Isabel Aspinall. 12 minutes and 8 seconds later will grab the checkered flag to win a second consecutive Challenge Series Cup after having won the Clubman Cup 2 months prior. And she will claim it by a margin of 5 over Francesca Fidanzi, who could have easily won this championship if she just did not run into Shiro Suzuka at round 4. Likewise, Axel also could have easily won this championship if he didn't run into the back of Yuzuha in this race. But that is all a bunch of what-ifs, ultimately speaking. And the nature of our reality is Isabel is the champion. Francesca Fidanzi at 101 points. Isabel takes 106 out of 140. And running down the rest of the order, Barbara Page at 99, Axel Valentine at 94, Dos Point0 at 92, Yukonami Yuzuha ends up with 6 in points on her first championship appearance at 91, Yumiya at 90, Stephanie Kaiser at 89, Keith Kilgore at 85. Then it is a huge drop, 71 points for 10th place Bonnie Ville, who seemed like a joke candidate more than anything, but has managed to put up some surprising results. A fourth place finish, a 6th place, a 7th place. She was obviously right in the middle. She scored last at the longest day in Georgia, but if we were to take that out of the equation, if that last minute rule change wasn't in place, she would have threatened for this championship, unironically. Kotori 11th at 69 points, Mika Harris at 67, Eric Wojciechowski at 66, Storm at 64, another big drop down to Wanda Glass at 54, really expected more from her. She had 3 10th place finishes and 5th place finish, but nope, I'm reading that wrong. That is Storm Rose's results. She only got 1 top 10 and 6th place. Really expected more from her. Bernice with 53, Suzuka with 52. A lot of that was really not his fault. There were multiple occasions where he just got run into by somebody else. Dom DePrisco at 49, he was really a non-threat. I thought he would be the favorite to win the championship, but he never really did anything after the longest day in Georgia, ultimately. Buck Angelos with 46. Yo Watanabe was an extra. She had her POV driver appearance at Lake Maggiore, where she got 2nd, and that accounted for more than half of her points. She got 19 points there, and the rest of her championship resulted in 16 more. So clearly she was the weakest link of the bunch. Not surprising. Ultimately, the Evo 3 is underpowered in this category in a championship full of top speed powerhouses for the most part. And there's a reason that she was the last qualifying driver in the Cup. So ultimately, expectations were not terribly high. She snuck in by like 0.06 of a second over Gina Turini, who I can't fathom would have fared a whole lot better in her FC3S. But that has been the Premium Sports Challenge. And in the 3 weeks of just 675 class racing, a lot of stuff has built up. A lot of new cars, new drivers will be set to debut in week 169. But that is for future us to find out.